Perhaps you've seen it. Maybe in a dream. A murky, forgotten land.
Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is more Dark Souls 2 PvP. This time we are using dual whips in the arena, and this is the 4th installment of a 5-part session. And I'm going up against a guy, I think his name is it TGL Shadow something? It's very difficult to read on the unrendered preview screen I'm watching right now. And this person is using a Marakumo, and he has an interesting looking setup. You know, he's not wearing massive armor, he's got a cool hat on, he's got an interesting looking shield, and as you can see he's backstepping, he's mixing up his attacks, and we're having a nice little fight. And these are the fights that I come to the arena for. I love it when I come up against somebody who obviously knows what they're doing. You know, someone who's willing to be patient, someone who's willing to, you know, trade back and forth, who doesn't run away to heal when they start to die, you know, who doesn't unnecessarily have several different features to their build that they turn to when they start losing. You know, a lot of the strategies that existed in Dark Souls that don't exist in Dark Souls 2 all that much because everybody's kind of running very similar builds. But yeah, whoever that player is, it was a really good fight. I managed to catch him at the end there with the Forbidden Sun because I wait for people to roll and try and get them on the recovery, and it can be a really good strategy to finish them off. So that was a good fight, man, and I had a lot of fun. We're back here with a strange one that he gets hit by the old sun, and I think he thought he was dead. And I've done it myself a lot of times, so he just kind of stood there, and I wasn't sure if he was trying to quit, I wasn't sure if he was, you know, really frustrated, I wasn't sure at all, so I just, you know, finished him off with the whip, and that was it. But back in there, another enchanted Moonlight Greatsword. There is a mistake on my part. I'd queued the Pyromancy cast, and when he hit me, I was facing the wrong direction, so my character didn't turn, and I ended up doing kind of a crazy wrong direction throwing move. But that guy there, 2 casts of Forbidden Sun on top of Crystal Magic Weapon. That is a lot of attunement. I wonder if he was using the ring. Oh, holy stunlock, Batman. That right there is the reason I wore the old Sun Ring. Not too sure if I'm going to wear it anymore. All depends on how badly it's been nerfed. But when somebody starts swinging at you and they're doing nothing but swinging, it's absolutely fantastic when you get that lucky proc and it can save your ass. And somebody put an interesting counter argument in a comment on a previous video saying what people who defend using that ring against stunlocks seem to forget is that they're still able to stunlock themselves. And I think that's kind of missing the point, because stunlocking is a problem in the way. Because poise works differently, because there's no toggle, stunlock is king, and no matter how much adaptability you have, sometimes you cannot get out of it. The point of the Sun Rings and the Ring of Thorns in some ways, even though I don't really use that one, because a lot of people seem to think it's easy to dodge, and I just don't, because I've had instances where I've been hit by it and it wasn't even visible. So, you know, as much as people want to say it's super easy to dodge, like with lag and with other factors, I really don't think it's as easy as people are trying to say it is. And it makes me think that maybe they're defending it because they use it, or maybe they're just, you know, really good at fighting Ring of Thorns. But the old Sun Ring, when it comes to stunlocks, is if somebody is just going to swing at you crazily just to try and get that quick kill, then it gives you an opportunity to get out. And it doesn't always work. And I wish it worked differently. I personally would prefer it if it didn't do any damage. I would just like it to stun them. Stun them to the equivalent of when you shoot someone in the head with an arrow. That would be fine. Watch this. So that was my first time ever fighting Chameleon. And I thought I was lagging so bad that the hit had not knocked him out of Chameleon. But on this game, that doesn't work that way. Oh, shout out here. This is Emnick. You know, the player who does absolutely the same thing on every fucking game you fight him on. So that was a fun one. And this is me and the bridge getting on really, really well. Which I should probably elucidate on what I mean. I have fought Emne twice, once on Dark Souls, once on this one, and both times he was using tons and tons of different types of magic, and I really do not understand like how that can be fun for that long, because that's literally all I've ever seen that player use, and he's quite well known on the Twitch chats and what have you, because he comes from Australia, and his connection is utter dog shit. So when you put our connections together, you pretty much make the worst connection ever made. So I think that's probably the reason why he uses magic, because it's kind of the only way to compete. Watch this. There you go. That is Wrath of Gods, if anybody's not seen it, and it goes through geometry, so be careful. It can be very powerful. But back on the bridge, my favourite arena, and yeah, this is fun. So this is one of those moments where you think, well, the internet just said no, so what were we even meant to do? And then it's okay, because it saved me of the hassle of contemplating how I'm going to even fight that. But here is a resonant weapon katana user. A lot of people are giving these kind of builds shit, and I understand why, but at the same time, like, katanas will get shit for being katanas. The resonant weapon, is it really necessary? I don't think so, but a lot of people do, and you've got to accept it, because if you don't, you're going to get super frustrated all the time, because it is literally all you fight. Like, watch this video, guys. Count how many times somebody's buffing. You know, it's literally every fight, and if you want to make a drinking game, you'll be hammered if you drink for every buff you see, because it's rife, and unfortunately, it makes the PvP super quick, because if you get hit, I mean, look at that, half my life off an Evelyn shot. This is the ultimate build. This is, if you see this, you know that somebody is coming to kill, because it's very difficult to defend against. But I found him again, and hopefully I'll do a better job this time. But I can't even stress the importance of having a shield as a backup for the Evelyn people. Like, you just can't seem to roll through it. It's so tricky to do. Even if you know, your roll has to be so late to try and capitalise on the staggered, delayed shots of the Evelyn, like that. But even then, like, that was close, and that could have been live. But yeah, this is a build that a lot of people are getting sick and tired of, with the Santier Spear, Resonant Weapon, and Evelyn kind of setup. He does have hexes too, if you should choose to use them, but like, it makes me wonder, how long does this person play the game for until he gets bored, because it can't be that much fun doing what he's doing. I don't see it, personally. I mean, you know what's coming, we all know what's coming, I just kind of thought I'd be able to hit him and interrupt it, and it didn't work. Which is the Beyblade tactic, which a lot of people are calling it, the spin to win kind of techniques. But here's the bridge. I hate the bridge. I'm going to say it every time we're on the bridge, because I just cannot stand it. And look at that. 800 damage off the old Sun Ring. Just so powerful. And players who don't know what it is don't know how to fight it. Like, they don't expect it. It's really strange. This is a weird one. This guy's just spamming the carvings, and I hit him and I want him to fight, because, you know, when I come to play PvP, guys, I've done the honor stuff, I've done the respectful stuff, now I just want to fight. I don't give a fuck how it happens, where it happens, I just want to fight. So standing about, messing around, just not my thing at all. And this guy, unfortunately, starts fighting way too late, and at this point he's already been killed. So, like, I don't know what that achieves at all. It's very strange, but he was obviously having fun and enjoying himself, but I just didn't understand it. So, if you're wondering what the aura, not even a word, the aura this guy has, it is the Great Magic Barrier. What you'll notice is a lot of people who use these really fast melee buff builds, is they'll put the Great Magic Barrier on themselves so that they don't have to worry about spell spam when they're trying to get up close and kill people with buffs. But luckily enough, I managed to get the roll backstab and punish his aggression. This is a great build. A great build I should have guard broke, but I do it too late and I take a big hit off the Demon's Great Hammer. But anybody wearing full Havels and swinging a massive sword or a massive thing like this, they get my full respect, because you know that they're not there just to have the defense buff, they're there to be a big lumbering tank build. And there's something to say about those kind of builds, and this guy obviously knows what he's doing, because he went immediately to try and punish my roll backstab with a roll backstab, and look how much poise he must have, because he had the Ring of the Giant on, and unfortunately you don't know if they've got, you know, normal ring, ring +1, ring +2, which I think is a bit of an oversight by From, but this is another interesting topic. This is the Lance player. So a lot of Lancers knocking around, I meant to say, on Dark Souls 2 because of stuff like that, which is, I assume, a lag hit that didn't show me the animation. Also, these lances can indefinitely stunlock you in some situations, which is kind of tricky. I kind of like fighting them. I think they're interesting. I think it takes a semi-decent player to understand when to use them, when not to use them, and how to use them. And this guy beats me, and I end up killing him with the old ring, the old sun ring, sorry. So, you know, I've got a couple of occasions where I fought the lance, and I actually think it's really fun. The double lances apparently have an infinite stunlock as well, which is perhaps not as much fun, but I really don't see the problem with the lance. It's one of those risk-reward weapons, and look at that, man. This guy is a bitch. Such an interesting player. He's called, is it Wiener Dog for Life, so he's got a pretty funny name, and he's wearing what looks like full smelter. He's going to do the spin to win technique, and I'm going to take a big laggy hit, because, you know, Dark Souls 2 is fun. And I already know that he's a healer, so I should have Lloyd's on, and I don't, because I didn't have any Lloyd's at this point. And what should have probably been a very quick and funny fight against a player who's obviously not that experienced turns into... I break my whip on this guy because I hit him that many times, which I didn't have any repair powder on, which is a mistake, obviously, from my end. And it's a mistake I'm not going to make again, because you're going to see this guy a couple times. He's kind of like a feature in the next video. And look, boom. As soon as he starts losing, he fucks off. And I know what he's going to do. He's going to heal. And watch this. Watch his life here. When he finishes running away. So I see him chug, and I interrupt it, and yet he still gets like 90% life back. So look, tiny life, massive life. Like, how the fuck does that work? And the only thing I could think of is because he did more than one swallow, and it kind of just staggered the full heal, but I was really confused. I was like, how the hell does he now have 90% life when I interrupted him? Like, really strange. But once again, he's backing up because he wants to probably heal again, which is seeming to be his strategy. And I'm at that point where I need to swap my whip out, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to. And because Dark Souls changed the way the menus work, I end up getting fucked, like that, by an R2. And then he taunts, which, I'm sorry, dude, if you're going to play like that, and then you're going to fucking taunt, we're going to have fun the next time I see you, and lo and behold, I got him in, like, the next fight. So I put poison resin on my whip, and I have repair powder. And I know he's going to heal, I know how he's going to fight, and then from every match onwards, I'm going to be just as cutthroat and as douchey as I could be. Like, if I could change my build, I would have, to try and just be a bitch against a player like this, because I just don't like it. And a lot of people have no problems against healing in games, and they think it's fine, and that's awesome. I do. I don't like it at all, and this is the kind of stuff that happens when, you know, people do it and then they proceed to taunt. I just think it's rude, and it's a personal thing. I don't expect anybody to share that opinion, and I know no one pretty much ever will, but like, look at him. It's so weird that he thinks he can get away with it because he got away with it in that last area, but now there's nowhere to hide. So if he wants to play like that, he has to actually, you know, use some fucking skill. And I know what he's going to do, so I do that. Because all he does is spin, and then I taunt him. And I don't taunt, folks. I hardly ever taunt. If you see me do Praise the Sun, it's because someone bowed. And I never taunt. And every time I fight this guy, I'm going to fucking taunt him, because it winds me up. And I thought it was funny at the time. But thank you for watching, and as always, guys, you take care now.